This is Business Now, reaching you live from iBrandTV News Studio in Lagos, Nigeria. First, the headlines. Content as Supreme Court reverses its earlier dismissal of an appeal by Guarantee Trust Bank. Senate gropes National Drug Law Enforcement Agency for spending unapproved security votes. China's National Bureau of Statistics says the economy grows by 8.1% despite series of economic shocks. US and Canada experience power outage as winter storm rages. Many thanks for joining us on New Business Now. Here are some stories making headlines at this hour. I am Margaret Opera. We begin Business Now with the latest report on Nigeria's inflation rate. The Consumer Price Index report released by the National Bureau of Statistics says Nigeria's inflation rate rose to 15.63% in December 2021. The rate in the month of December 2021 rose to 15.63% from 15.4% recorded in November 2021 after 8 months of consecutive decline. Nigeria's inflation rate had been on a steady decline in the past 8 months since April 2021, moderated from the highs recorded in the previous year. However, the rate had just backpedaled with an uptick in December 2021. The Supreme Court has reversed its earlier dismissal of an appeal by GT Bank against 2.4 billion judgment given in favor of Innocent Motors Nigeria Limited by the Court of Appeal in Ibadan, Oyo State. In a judgment delivered on Friday, a 5-man panel led by Justice Olukayode Ariwola held unanimously that the Supreme Court erred when, in a ruling on February 27, 2019, it dismissed the appeal filed by GTB. In the lead judgment written by Justice Tijani Abubakar but read by Justice Abdul Aboki, the Apex Court held that it was misled by its registry, which failed to promptly bring the notice of the panel that sat on the case on February 27, 2019, that GTB had already filed its appellant brief of argument. And moving on, the Senate had begun investigation of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency for carrying out a spending-tagged security vote without appropriation by the National Assembly. The investigation follows audit queries issued against the Ndlea in the Auditor General for the Federation's annual report on non-compliance, internal control weaknesses in issues in ministries, departments and agencies of the Federal Government of Nigeria for the year ended 31st December 2019. The Acting Auditor General of the Federation, Adolphus Agugu, had presented the report to the Clerk to the National Assembly, or Joe Amos, on September 15, while the Senate and House of Committees on Public Accounts began investigation of the queries. In its written response to the query, the Ndlea, however, said there was no enough allocation for security votes, and being an agency that carries out most of its activities on information and intelligence, the management had no option but to make provision from its recurrent allocation for security and information from subhead. One of the nation's foremost economists, Bismarck Rewan, has hinted that Nigeria's economic activity in 2022 will be similar to that of 2021, owing to a global inflationary trend linked to COVID-19. Taking a deep dive into Nigeria's projected fiscal outcomes, where one hinted that the lingering global supply shortage, which will weigh on the supply of imported raw materials and continue to impact Nigerian businesses. Speaking at the Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce January Breakfast Meeting Team 2022 Economic Outlook, where one said Nigerians can expect to see sustained cost push factors including the planned fuel subsidy removal, new electricity tariffs and additional taxes, alongside legacy issues such as increased debt service burden and exchange rate conversion. Inflation will remain structurally high at an average of 13.3% with an increase in Q1 and Q2. End of quote. He, however, noted that the economic outlook for the country was not gloomy, despite its continued dependence on oil. Similarly, another forum, the Chief Executive Officer Financial Derivative Company Limited, Bismarck Rewan, also stated that gross internal reserve would decline towards 39 billion US dollars as the Central Bank of Nigeria increases forex supply and foreign portfolio investors exit due to political uncertainties. Reverend Wu disclosed this at a virtual meeting organized by First Bank Nigeria focusing on Nigerian economic outlook for 2022, advised the CBN to step up efforts towards exchange rate convergence. He predicted that there would be another currency adjustment in 2022, which would bring the official and parallel market rates closer. Political jitters would heighten forex demand pressures in Q4. He hinted that the first quarter is typically going to be a slower quarter, adding that there would be proposed premium motor spirit PMS subsidy removal in February to further erode purchasing power due to higher retail petrol prices. And more stories, the Ndlea organization held a business summit for SMEs over the weekend titled Structure Your Business with Ease. The facilitator Ndlea spoke to iBrandTV on the importance of empowering SMEs and the ease of doing business in Nigeria.
Structure your business is ease. Actually is a reflection of my struggle when I started my business like 15 years ago. There were some things I went through and I was able to conquer, and today I can say most of it can be related to lack of structure in my business. Number one, not seeing my finances grow. I keep starting all over again. Number two, not separating myself from my business as a business owner. So I dip my hands in my business and I'm eating up. At the end of the day, there's no growth. So I have gone through a lot and I was able to overcome them and grow that same business. The business is actually very successful today. So I look at a lot of people struggle in this area, and some of my colleagues would say, come on, help me to achieve this. And the most important thing about the structure, the whole thing of structure, is that a lot of small business owners don't know that they can actually run their business without them being there. They can put in place systems, organize it in a way that the business can actually still continue to make sales, make income, even in their absence, so that they can focus on other things. So that's the whole essence of what structure is all about.
Coming to this class today have been able to make me realize that I can actually do better. I can actually structure my business, and my business can run without me. In fact, that's one of the major things I'm taking away. She has made me understand today that my business can run without me being there and still make the profit it's supposed to make as a business owner.
This is my second time of attending Coach Nancy's event. The first one we had was at Ikeja, where she had running a business without going bankruptcy. I decided to come here and gain more, to expand my business and then structure my business in a way that can grow and operate without my presence.
It was so interesting that I followed her again and heard about this one that is going on now. And to God who made me, all that I needed before now is just this. I've been into business for like 5 years and it has been up and down, starting all over again every year, hoping that this year will get better, but I didn't know it will see the same results. But after having listened to her this minute, I've seen where I've been making mistakes, and with steps that she has given, I'm sure that if I put them in place, this will turn out right.
Away from that, the Group Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC Limited, Malam Mele Kyari, said the Petroleum Industry Act has provided the organization with the opportunity to shed some of its toxic liabilities. According to a statement by the Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division of NNPC Limited, Garba Mohammed, this was made known by Kyari while addressing staff of the organization during a town hall meeting at NNPC Towers in Abuja. The new legislation is also expected to make the state-owned oil company become the largest and most capitalized company in Africa. Now, the Central Bank of Nigeria has also said the capital importation into the country fell by 32% to $500 million in October 2021 from $660 million recorded in September. The CBN disclosed these figures in its latest monthly economic report, October, recently released on the bank's official website. The decline is a negative turnaround from the increase recorded in September, when capital inflow rose by $220 million from $440 million in August. The report also shows that there is a corresponding decline in investment inflows from the United Kingdom, South Africa and other countries leading the pack in capital importation into Nigeria. A breakdown of the inflows recorded in October shows that foreign portfolios investments dominated capital importation with a value of $330 million. The managing director of Ogun State Property and Investment Corporation, Abiodun Fari-Awale, says the newly inaugurated King's Court Estate will be duplicated in other parts of the state to accommodate more subscribers. A statement by the corporation quoted Fari-Awale as saying this in Abeokuta while speaking with OPIC press officer Mrs. Olabisi Adegbite shortly after inauguration of the estate by the President, Muhammadu Buhari. The OPIC boss said the proposed housing project would be constructed in semi-detached apartments to make it affordable to the people, adding that the houses would be similar to those constructed in the Agbara and New Makun city. Meanwhile, investors are praising up for the U.S. Federal Reserve meeting in January as expectations are raised it would hold severe rate hikes. China surprised analysts with a shocking benchmark quote. As traders gauge the global policy outlook, they are also looking forward to Chinese economic data due later. On Monday, the results of the Bank of Japan's policy meeting on Tuesday, inflation data from Britain on Wednesday, and Australian jobs data on Thursday. Early in London trading sessions, the greenback was trading 0.2% higher at 114.45 yen, or approximately 0.8% above Friday low. It also gained 100 basis points against 1,403 US dollar to euro. Now, the Nigerian Customs Service generated a total of 13.169 trillion naira from 2010 to 2021. According to the survey, the NCA generated 546.64 billion naira in 2010, 741.83 billion naira in 2011, 850.88 billion naira in 2012, and 833.4 billion naira in 2013. The service also generated a sum of 977 billion naira in 2014, 903 billion naira in 2015, and 899 billion naira in 2016. The annual revenue generation, however, moved into the trillion naira realm with 1.3 trillion naira released in 2017, 1.2 trillion naira in 2018, 1.34 trillion naira in 2019, and 1.6 trillion naira in 2020. The highest annual revenue generated by the NTS was recorded in 2021 with an unprecedented sum of 2.24 trillion naira. Still to come, thousands without power supply as winter storm hits US and Canada. Details and more business stories after the short break.
Oh boy, winning you was so easy.
I just couldn't stand those your powerful shots. That's what happened.
Really? Let's go to my place for dinner.
This fufu is so nice.
It's through unripe plantain flour.
True unripe plantain flour is delicious.
Yes, true unripe plantain flour is what I serve my husband for swallows. It's easy to prepare, fortified with vitamin A, low in sugar and cholesterol, rich in fiber that helps the heart, builds and strengthens the bone, and his energy level is boosted.
Through unripe plantain flour, no additives, 100% natural, a product of Pali Agro Products Nigeria. Through unripe plantain flour, available in all leading stores nationwide.
And on the Africa scene, Ghana is set to find vessels that have crew members or passengers that are not vaccinated against COVID-19 on board. P&I Club Guard has warned shipping lines. In an alert issued last week, Guard said its local correspondent in Ghana, Sherigam P&I Services, advised that Ghana Port Health Service would impose a $3,500 fine on any vessel with unvaccinated seafarers or passengers arriving the country. An original implementation date of 15 January was set. However, the authorities have now decided to allow for a grace period, which is yet to be determined. GARD noted it was also unclear if the $3,500 fine applied to the vessel as a whole or for each individual unvaccinated crew member or passenger. Upon payment of the fine, all unvaccinated personnel will receive the Johnson & Johnson jab from the local health authority. Vivo Energy PLC, which sells fuels and lubricants under Shell and Urgent brands in 23 African countries, said on Monday the South African Reserve Bank has approved its takeover by largest shareholder Vitol Group. Vitol Group, an energy and commodity trading company, has offered 1.85% of US dollar share for Vivo Energy in a deal valued at $2.3 billion US. The offer price includes planned dividends, $0.04 US final dividend for 2021 and a $0.02 US special dividend for 2022. Vitol was founded in Rotterdam, Netherlands, and has headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland. It has a 36% stake in Vivo. Vivo has accepted and recommended the offer, which is expected to be concluded in the third quarter. The potential takeover still requires shareholder approval. And on the foreign scene, despite a series of economic shocks in the second part of last year, such as power outages, default, and a result of a slow-moving housing and property crisis and COVID-19 outbreaks in 2021, China's economy grew by 8.1%. This is according to official data from China's National Bureau of Statistics released on Monday. The People's Bank of China surprised the markets by reducing two key policy interest rates ahead of the GDP announcement, exceeding market expectations for stimulus. In December, consumer spending fell sharply as the government strengthened virus controls in numerous sections of the country. It cut the one-year medium-term lending facility rate to 2.85% from 2.95% and lowered the 7-day reverse repurchase rate from 2.1% from 2.2%. Still on foreign business news, a major winter storm has brought heavy snow and ice to parts of the US and Canada, putting more than 80 million people under weather warnings. More than 145,000 people are without power in some southeastern states, and thousands of flights are cancelled. Virginia and Georgia and North and South Carolina have all declared state of emergency. And the U.S. National Weather Service (NWS) says more than 1/5 the steady cm of snow is expected in some areas. The NSW warns snow and ice could result in dangerous travel, power outages, and tree damage. Singapore has retained the #1 spot in the leading maritime cities report conducted by Norwegian Classification Society (DNV) and Norwegian Consultancy Menon Economics (AS). The 2022 edition of the NMC report was launched on January 13 at an event hosted by the Singapore Maritime Foundation, providing fresh insight into which global hubs offer the best infrastructure, technology and finance, and world-class talents to help the maritime community connect and prosper. The report benchmarks each maritime city based on 5 key pillars: shipping, maritime finance and law, maritime technology, ports and logistics, and attractiveness and competitiveness. Singapore's strong performance across the board sees it retain its #1 spot overall. Coming up next is entertainment business after the short break.
Dry Cleaners Limited. Professional dry cleaners. Best in dry cleaning and laundry services that meets the needs of our consumers. Yeah. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Yeah. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Yeah. For clean wash and quick delivery. Yeah. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. For clean wash and quick delivery. Ooh.
Swift Dry Cleaners. Clean wash, quick delivery.
Hello, this is Entertainment Business. I am Michelle Abanum. Scream, a reimagining of horror franchise that appeared to have run out of steam, dominated the box office, earning a good, scary $30.6 million. The sequel is projected to earn $35 million over the 4-day Martin Luther King Jr. holiday weekend, a spectacular result considering Scream only cost $25 million to produce. It also represents some positive news for the bruised and battered cinema industry, considering that Scream's success comes amid a spike in COVID-19. It helps that Scream's target demographic is younger, which means that they may not have been as spooked by the highly contagious Omicron variant that is fueling the latest iteration of a seemingly endless pandemic. The film also brings back familiar faces such as Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, and David Arquette, who are once again haunted by serial killer, a ghost face mask. Scream debuted in 3,664 locations. Moving on, Netflix has raised its monthly subscription price by $1 to $2 per month in the United States, depending on the plan. The company said on Friday to help pay for new programming to compete in the crowded streaming TV market. The standard plan, which allows for 2 simultaneous streams, now costs $15.49 per month, up to $13.99 in the United States. Prices also rose in Canada, where the standard plan climbed to $16.49 Canadian dollars from $14.99 Canadian dollars. Shares of Netflix gained nearly 3% to $534.84 on the Nasdaq after Reuters broke the news of the prices. They closed 1.3% higher at $525.69. The increases, the first in those markets since October 2020, took effect immediately for new customers. Existing customers will see the new prices in the coming weeks when they receive their monthly bills. Netflix subscribers' growth slowed from a boom early in the COVID-19 pandemic that rebounded with help from global phenomenon Squid Game, a dystopian thriller from South Korea released in September. Total global subscriptions reached 213.6 million. And that's it on Entertainment Business. I am Michelle Abanum.
Thank you, Michelle. And now coming up with sports business. Golf legend Tiger Woods is waiting $150 million to make a move in the wellness sector. The golf legend's Spark Sports and Health Tech Acquisition Corp filed for an IPO on Thursday with a plans to acquire a company with sports and health technology. The Spark will target companies with $600 million and $1 billion in enterprise value. Unlike scenarios in which an athlete joins a SPAC with a relatively small investment to help bring attention to the venture, Woods is a lead investor in the project. On Thursday, racing legend Michael Andretti raised a $200 million through a SPAC, targeting the automobile industry with an eye towards electric and autonomous vehicles. While this is Wood's first back, he launched CGR in 2016 to unite several businesses ventures. Till date, Wood has focused on golf course design, golf tournament and events, and a restaurant business called Woods. Disney has entered a renewed agreement to become the exclusive broadcaster of the English Premier League across South America as part of a 3-season deal. Disney will reportedly receive exclusive rights to broadcast in Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, Paraguay, Peru, Uruguay and Venezuela from the 2022 to 2023 to 2024 to 2025 sessions. Since the 2019-20 season, Disney has held similar Premier League rights in the region in partnership with DAZN. The Mouse currently holds exclusive rights in Spanish-speaking South America through a sub-licensing deal with DAZN. In a separate deal, Disney owns exclusive rights to Brazil and sub-licenses 2 matches each week to DAZN. All 380 regular season matches will be shown across ESPN and Star Plus subscription streaming service, which costs roughly $10 per month in Spanish-speaking territories and $6 per month in Brazil. And that's a wrap on Business Now at this hour. For more business stories, please visit our website, follow all our social media platforms, and do well to tune in to StarTime Channel 143 for more news and interesting programs. My name is Margaret Opa. Thanks for watching.